It is true that many of the people in this room for 4 years failed to cover the fact that Joe Biden was mentally incompetent and was not running the country. It is also true that many people in this room who have used this talking point that Elon is not elected fail to understand how government works. So I'm glad for the opportunity for a brief civics lesson. A president is elected by the whole American people. He's the only official in the entire government that is elected by the entire nation, right? Judges are appointed, members of Congress are elected at the district or state level, which is one man. And the Constitution, Article 2, has a clause known as the vesting clause, and it says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular. The whole will of democracy is imbued into the elected president. That president then appoints staff to then impose that democratic will onto the government. The threat to democracy, indeed the existential threat to democracy, is the unelected bureaucracy of lifetime tenured civil servants who believe they answer to no one, who believe they can do whatever they want without consequence, who believe they can set their own agenda no matter what Americans vote for. So Americans vote for radical FBI reform, and FBI agents say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote for radical reform on our energy policies, but EPA bureaucrats say they don't want to change. Or Americans vote to end DEI, racist DEI policies, and lawyers at the Department of Justice say they don't want to change. What President Trump is doing is he is removing federal bureaucrats who are defying democracy by failing to implement his lawful orders, which are the will of the whole American people.
Why does the media attempts to do this? Liberal Reporter got schooled by Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is becoming one of my favorite people to like react to and listen to and hear his commentary. And him like, breaking down civics and how what actual a constitutional crisis is. And this is what I'm talking about with these slogans and political catchphrases that the Democrats like to spew is that they mindlessly repeat these things, not understanding that what the judges are technically doing could be perceived as a constitutional crisis, right? And the way he broke down his thoughts and articulate them, I think it was very well. It helped me remember this quote that I once heard from Thomas Sowell, and I want to shout it out here. Here's a quote from Thomas Sowell, and I quote, "Have you ever heard of anyone as incoherent as people staging protests across the country? Taxpayers ought to be protesting against having their money spent to educate people who end up unable to say anything beyond repeating political catchphrases." Thomas Sowell. This man deserves a statue. I'm petitioning for Thomas Sowell to get a statue as one of the African American icons, the Black American icons that Donald Trump wants to highlight in the White House to celebrate Black History Month. But I digress. So, as you saw the smackdown from Stephen Miller, Democrats got nothing, bro. I'm telling you, Democrats have nothing but Trump derangement, right? And, you know, many people want to question their motives. Well, why they're so against Trump and all this. And Trump represents everything that I think they were trying to be. Like, honestly, they try to sit here, you know, manipulate us, get us to essentially adopt these catchphrases, but these catchphrases are not backed by anything in reality. They wonder why donors are holding back their money. This segment I'm about to show you right here in my next clip, I think is the best explanation I heard of what exactly is going wrong with the Democratic Party.
Here is what we learned over the last 3 weeks. There is not a single principle that the Democrats pretend to hold dear that they are not willing to immediately abandon if they suspect that Donald Trump is representing it. Look at what happened to Tulsi Gabbard, who, thank God, is now the head of the DNI. Tulsi Gabbard was lambasted by Democrats for opposing spying on American citizens, the surveillance state, and being anti-war. Wait a minute, I thought the Democrats were anti-war. Look at what happened yesterday with Lori Chavez de Remer, who came out in favor of what used to be Democratic principles. Let's control immigration to protect wages, tariffs to protect the product of American labor. They will abandon anything if they think Trump likes it. Free speech used to be a leftist agenda. Now, because Trump supports it, they believe in censorship. There has been an utter retreat from principle by the Democratic Party, which Trump exposes every single day.
Yeah, like imagine Here's the commission that Donald Trump is already starting to try to make America healthy again with in conjunction with Robert F. Kennedy. And you would think the Democrats would agree with this, but they're out here. They voted against Robbie. Robbie could do nothing wrong. Robbie can do nothing right. My bad. And they're against it. It's like who can be mad at this, right? You're not engaging with the movement. You're not trying to steer it in your view, your view of a correct direction. No, you're just purely against it. And it doesn't matter what Donald Trump says, does. It's y'all immediately come out against it. Musk was gifted a chainsaw at a CPAC. I don't go to these things, but maybe one day I will. By Javier Milei. Like, you against waste, fraud, and abuse, right? You against cutting that out, right? Make it make sense. But then when you talk with a Trump supporter that actually knows what he's talking about or has some idea why he believes the things he believes, the Democrats are always the ones that look out of whack, out of touch. They look like the ignorant ones. They look like the clueless ones. We're gonna play this clip from the beginning. It's a 49-minute clip, but I want to kind of highlight how we kind of led into this brief moment in history, and then maybe I'll skip around. Who knows how I'll go with this? I'll probably cut a lot of stuff out, but let's take a look.
Also, so Stephen, we're hearing about these DOGE dividend checks that would be 20% back to taxpayers, 20% to pay down the debt, 60% is left. Who gets that?
Well, the way that it works is when you achieve savings, you can either return it to taxpayers, you can return it to our debtors, or it can be cycled into next year's budget, and then it just lowers the overall baseline for next year. So in other words, you can just transfer it into the next fiscal window and then lower the overall spending level. And that means that you can.
It sounds like what we all do in our own personal finances. Me, I have to run a tight ship here. You know, we're a single single income family here, so we budget everything. But it sounds that's not like, who would be mad about that? Like, make it make sense. Oh, I know, Jasmine Crockett. She'll be mad about that. What are you gonna do with $5,000? But this is the same party crying about reparations. Make it make sense. But you mad about free money. People are happy to get what, $1,200 from the stimulus check, if I remember correctly. People are happy about that. You don't think $5,000 would... Bruh, if Donald Trump is able to give $5,000 to the American people, and it's not like some handout, it's a refund. Like, hey, look, sorry we waste your money. Here, your money back. They might F around and give Trump a statue. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I digress. Let's continue.
You can achieve a permanent savings that way, and that reduces the deficit.
And when is it that people might see those checks?
Well, this is all going to be worked on through the reconciliation process with Congress that's going underway right now. As you've seen, the Senate's moving a bill, the House is moving a bill.
Have a lot of pressure to
the
deliver
President has
this.
great confidence in both chambers to deliver on his priorities. I would just take this opportunity to note that President Trump has made a historic commitment to the working class of this country to fight for major tax relief and major price relief. And cutting spending, as DOGE is doing, and cutting taxes is the key to delivering on both of those promises, and President Trump is resolutely committed to doing both.
Thank you. And on you.
So as you saw from there, you'll go into another like stuff about Zelensky and all that stuff, and I kind of want to do a separate topic on that. I might cover that on my live stream tonight. I'll see where I go with it. But as you saw, just who can be against that? Democrats are. Yeah, we are watching the Democrats literally commit suicide. I really believe so. Political suicide. Right? They're just throwing stuff to see what sticks. And they just think, hey, we resist Trump. If resisting Trump worked, you would have won 2024. But you didn't. Trump has some good ideas. Trump has some innovative ideas that government are not willing to try. Oh, we don't want to do it. It's the same. That's why I led with that intro in the beginning of this video. The people say, we want FBI to change. FBI bureaucrats who are hired to be these agents say, no, we don't want to change. Screw you. And everyone just going along to get along, like ignoring the will of the people, when the president, what he campaigned on, that's what the people wanted done. And many Americans believe, hey, Donald Trump is doing what he's supposed to do. And federal judges who've been appointed to these positions by other Democrats are fighting against Donald Trump to not put an agenda forth, to not go through his agenda that the American people elected him to do. Make it make sense. And you think this is going to end well for you, Democrats, leftists? Leftists make cheer that, oh, like, yes, we blocked Donald Trump from freezing spending. And America's like, oh, nah. This can't do. It's like Democrats are bruising for a cruise. Like they're cruising for a bruising. Like they're not getting the message quite yet. And honestly, Americans, and within my sound of my voice, if you like what Trump is doing so far, 2026, give him more Republicans. Because Republicans are going to go, oh, if we follow this guy's agenda, which Americans want to be done, at least 60% of it done, give Trump more leverage. Because it seemed like any leverage you give Democrats, they'll just use it to mindlessly, blindly resist Trump. And that's the reality. They're trying to manipulate narratives to try to get you to fall into a conclusion where, oh, we got to stop this guy. And I agree with Thomas Sowell. We should get a refund from the Department of Education because they're educating a lot of our kids. The public school system has the most impact on the education of our children because 76% of American students are educated in the public school system. That's a lot of control you're giving the government. And look what they're doing with it. Creating activists. That's what they think is important. Activists that all they can do is be pawns, sheep, poster boards for political ideology for the Democratic's will. That's how I see the public school education. That's why a lot of conservatives tend to lean towards public school, not private school, and homeschooling. Because we see is like, yo, someone's going to imbue values into your kids. Whether you rather it be you or some third party who you don't know nothing about. Like, make it make sense. We don't give strangers our banking account numbers, but we trust strangers with the minds and values of our children. Make that make sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be happy to hear what you guys think about this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching this video to the end. Like this video if you feel so inclined. Share this video. It really helped me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.